the sooner he does it and realizes it, he's just gonna become, like, he can become a staple for change. He can become a very good character to look up to, because I was this, now I'm that. I got harassed, I deflected, I didn't attack back, you know, I grew from that. I took this negative thing and I turned to a positive thing. You can become that beacon, and people will love you for it. And Neace, I hope you're watching this. I hope you watch this, man, because we talked, and I think that's the right approach. And I try to tell you this, and I don't think your approach was correct. And I think it's gonna go forever.
What I'm about to say is more about you than it is about me.
Okay, whenever there's controversy and you start a video like that, that's a bad sign. Even if you're not wrong, it really pays. It really goes a long way if you start with, like, addressing yourself first. It's always like a good thing about being presentable. It's this notion that, like, you know how, like, when like people are popular in, like, the celebrity realm, they can't really talk about their regular problems, because people are gonna be like, why are you talking about regular problems? You're fucking rich. And that's like the first thought that pops in people's heads. Like celebrities talking at the fucking Oscars and all that shit. Like, I use this example, but Daily Dose writing, I don't have any friends, like Daily Dose of YouTube guy. He wrote on Twitter, I don't have any friends, you know, I'm feeling really sad. And then people, like, shit on him in the comments, like, what the fuck, dude, you get millions of views, shut the fuck up, you bitch, you know? Like, it's all of that, because people are just like, oh man, he's got all this success, and you're whining about friends? You know, you can't whine about something like, you can't whine about normal things. It's like a double-edged sword of somewhat being famous. And especially if there's criticism levied against you, like, the best course of action, like, even if you're only engaging for optics, just trying to look good at the end of the day, it's probably the best to just say something about yourself first. Especially if there's, like, truth stuff, and there is definitely true stuff. And I think, from what we saw, it still says Challenger on his website, where he's selling coaching, which is kind of selling under false pretenses, but only because there's no real regulation of that, and Challenger is such a weird term, and you can kind of use that no matter what. Like, fucking bronze player can type Challenger in his stream title and or sell coaching under saying Challenger, but there's no, like, real repercussions for that, right? Except, like, the public backlash, which is what he's been getting, so this is why we have the whole thing. But yeah, let's see.
I have a form that is on the description of the video, and will be on the description of the YouTube video. I want you guys to go and fill that out if you want to climb to a higher rank this year. I hope you do. And that's the first thing I want to say before I get started with the stream. Now, I'm going to try to be very, very transparent and very, very vulnerable this morning. Because
okay, good.
I think this is a very, like I said, this is a very, very essential topic. You know, with the new year kicking off, and this grind to high elo starting off, and just, you know, I kind of just want to express some things to my community and to anybody that happens to be watching. You can go ahead and fill that out if you want. So,
okay, what I'm hoping here is he's gonna say, like, if he starts off with, like, I've been getting target banned, sniped, or whatever, like, without, like, it's just gonna be boring deflections. I hope he just goes in. I really hope he goes in and says something like, I played like shit, you know? He should be transparent, and he should probably, like, say, I didn't play well enough, you know? That's why, like, those are the things that you say, and, like, it's kind of humbling, and you show humility, and you will definitely, like, ingratiate yourself with the audience that way. What
am I getting at when I say, oh, I need to talk a lot about myself? This past year has been very, very interesting. Honestly, the past 2 years have been interesting. This past year, I probably made about $500,000 in coaching, mostly coaching. I'm being, like I said, I'm being transparent for a reason. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I've had a lot of successes in the past year. I made really, really good money coaching. We ran boot camps. And by the way, I say it's a success. That business probably cost me $50,000. I ran the boot camps. For those who don't know, we had boot camps running every, like, 3-4 months, where we made courses, had high elo players, like active high elo, like really high elo players coaching. Made, like, basically lesson plans for people, got a lot of signups for those, but the business didn't even succeed technically, even though when I ran it, got a ton of signups, because anytime I tried to get a different content creator to sign up, their audiences didn't really want to learn that much, or they just couldn't afford it, or, you know, whatever, and the business didn't work out. It only really was profitable if I was there. So that business didn't work, but I still consider that a success on the year. I consider it a success because it was a positive. It was a positive in the space. Also, in the past year, we made videos across multiple channels consistently, day in and day out. Educational content, lessons. You know, there's lessons. Every single lesson that got posted to the channel was a.
I agree with this. Like, say what you will about the motherfucker, but he works hard. He dumps out a lot of content. He spams a bunch of different channels. He does a lot of content and a lot of coaching on the side. Like, You can criticize the quality and all that. He does put in a lot of work, and a portion of it is definitely coming from people, like, from a little bit of jealousy, you know, like, why does this guy make so much money and he's like platinum and I'm fucking master, challenger, diamond, whatever, you know. There's definitely that for sure.
An hour-and-a-half lesson. So when people were, you know, taking clips and posting and saying that I was raging at people, blah, blah, blah.
Quantity lesser than quality? Not in the online realm. Definitely not in the online realm, especially now in the modern era.
Day in and day out, someone paid money to have me work with them for over an hour.
Presence is everything.
Watching their gameplay. Most people, you know, most people don't want to watch their friends play for 5 minutes. I've watched thousands of hours of low elo content in the past year. Thousands. You know, it's been a lot of working with low elo players and trying to get them acclimated to the game. And just outside of League, I did a thing where I did a run. Like, I was trying to get around the same time that I got in high school, a mile in 5 minutes or less, right? That was like another goal that I hit. These goals were good. They were good. There's a lot of really, really good things that happened last year, but there was also a lot of really, really bad things that happened last year. Last year, I went from being the #1 coach who focused on making educational content. I mean, you could still argue that I am. To probably being the #1 most hated League personality ever in the history of League. I have actually, and I've talked about this before.
Could be, yeah.
I have never seen anything like it. I have been around for a very, very, very long time. I've been around when Tyler 1 got banned multiple times.
Could be, yeah. That's a very good point. So he mentioned that, and that very well might be true, because I've been in this community for a while, and I don't remember when a person got this hated. Now, the question is, how does he perceive this? Okay, if a lot of people are coming at you, if a lot of people are hating you, is it all of them? Or is it you? Right? That's a very core question to ask. And you can ask, like, people ask the questions themselves every single day, you know? You have a lot of people, yeah. And some people ask that very, like, too much themselves, and that they're a little bit on the neurotic side, and they become... it's hard for them to do anything because they're all overly self-criticizing all the time, right? But there's a little bit too less of that, and they're like the shameless people who just keep going and going and going without ever self-reflecting. So the key is to strike like some sort of middle where you're self-improving at a regular pace, but you also have a solid, like, stable foundation of who you are and yourself. The question is, how does he perceive this? So no matter what, I agree there's insane amount of snowball effect. And if you run a bunch of campaigns and talking shit on the guy, even more people are going to talk shit, because it's just how Twitter works, how all these social media networks work, because there's a lot to gain just by hating somebody, even if you don't know, like, what they do or how they do it, or if you have ever had a conversation with them. That's primarily the reason why I asked him to talk with me, because I didn't like how much hate he was getting without him being able to defend himself. So I was like, okay, let's humanize him, let's talk. I want him to explain everything, and we talked, you know, and then kinda you can make your judgments and assertions about the guy, and just as I did, you know, like, but I wanted to talk to him like just a normal dude to dude, and yeah, here we go. Let's see what he says.
For, you know, running down games. I've been around for other people's dramas. I've been around for people doing very, very shady things with very, very young people. I've been around with people cheating to climb. I've been around with people, notable people, buying duo boosts or buying boosts from people. I've been around for people who have been banned from competitive play for drop hacking and all this stuff. I do not think any of those instances, when I think back, I do not think any of those instances have received more targeted hate and harassment than myself, and not even just me, my community.
I mean, that's understandable.
Why am I bringing this up?
Like, a random fucking person, like, drop hacking a game, nobody cares about that. Like, there's a bit of drama when Jensen got banned from competitive for boosting, I think, or something like that. You get some drama there, but it's not same of being an obscure pro player and like a very, very, very public figure, especially who's trying to sell something. So I think it's understandable why there's like a differential in people's responses.
Well, because initially, you know, I haven't always been a big content creator. I would argue that this has been like a shedding of skin, so to speak. For years, I've been doing this, probably about 10. I have always approached this type of stuff with the same way. Talk shit, tell them to fuck off, and go about, you know, just go about your grind. And usually, that's worked. Usually, just being like, these guys are losers. That usually was enough. And I don't think that approach in this particular situation is warranted. And in fact, I would say that particular approach is probably outdated now.
It's not working, mate. Look, I try to tell him this when we talked. I don't think, like, and you guys mentioned this, and I think he's taken a completely wrong approach here. The approach he went with was very, very negative, and it's gonna self-feed It's gonna create into a positive feedback loop of hatred because he keeps fighting back randomly. And as soon as people enter the fighting back randomly style and starts going caps lock on Twitter, it's just not good. You don't want to do that. Like, as a person in the spotlight, you should be able to have thicker skin and should be able to defend yourself. Not in a way of like getting down and dirty into like the fighting and like making pedophile insinuations. That's so random. Like, what you're supposed to do is you say, okay, I may have fake the screenshot. I did it for that and that and that. And some people are still going to respect you and follow you. You can say, maybe I'm not good enough to get challenger anymore. It's fine. You know, I will still sell my coachings. Like, you don't have to die on every single one of those hills. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. You don't have to fight every random guy on Twitter. You can say, I will proceed doing my own thing, and I will be as honest and honorable as I can from now on. I've made some mistakes in the past. I'll fucking focus and I'll do my best work. And guess what? You will sell probably more than ever. Like, this was a golden opportunity for him. Neace, he was arguing that he was the #1 coach. You can argue if that's true or not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. He had a ticket to become the most legendary, well-known coach in the league community. If he channeled this hatred right. All this hatred was insane amount of free publicity. So if he goes that humble humility route, he would have absorbed so much fame. Because this is how all the people in the modern sphere get created. Think about the Andrew Tate, how he rose like in fucking minutes. Like he rose up. Because if you get so much hatred and you're like dancing on the edge and you kind of have a core positive message on the side, or at least perceived to have one, like people are going to rally on your side. And people would defend you, even if you've done wrong things. People will step up to your side. Like, as long as you show humility and vulnerability. So, yeah, let's see.
Vulnerable a little bit. I feel like as a...
Are saying Andrew Tate has a positive message? He has a positive spin on it. And a lot of his followers, like, there's like a dissonance between people following him and people not following him. People not following him just fucking hate him, but people following him think he's, like, purporting this message about self-improvement and masculinity in modern days because nobody else is doing that. So, they're obviously, like, in a bitter spot, so they need a role model, so he swooped in and did that for them. So yeah, for some of those people, yeah, it's definitely a positive message. For some of them, it can be like very fucking annoying, and they can become very annoying themselves. But that's the whole point. He's being defended. Like, even the most, like, people you hate the most, you guys in chat, will still get defended quite a lot, as long as they have something behind them. But if you fight back on every single random hill and you just go insanely petty, like, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the public vote.
Creator, I'm gonna have to make some very, very tough choices because my content is now bigger than me. It is. And my editor can pull this up. We've had esports orgs, you know, memeing my content. I've never seen that. I've never seen...
That was great. That was great. You know, when we did the podcast, I opened up with the meme. Okay, I thought that was one of the coolest things because I wanted to steer the direction in the part where he's accepting and not defending. When you're talking about yourself in a bit of a non-serious and joking manner, instead of saying, fuck these guys, they all hate me, you know, like, as soon as you start going they, and you just, like, swoop in all the fucking people in the world into that they, like, they're against me, you've lost it. You've lost it. Fight on, like, with honesty on, like, each point. Like, just slowly. Don't rush into anything and say, oh, they hate me because of that. Address your wrongdoings and just chill, man. Like, that was the thing, man. I wanted to go into the meme because I think he took the meme well. Because it was a good meme and it produced publicity to him. And he could have done the exact same route. Don't be a victim and just take responsibility. Yeah, I agree.
Sports orgs take content designed for people in low elo, designed to help them improve, and try to paint it in a way.
Yeah, he could have branded himself as pure, like, low elo, whatever. He could say, like, I'm not a challenger, whatever. I'm a master player at best. You're still gonna sell. Like, I would argue he would sell way better than before. But like I'm repeating myself. Let's see.
I've never seen that, and it's not. I'm not offended by it. I think more than anything, it's sad. It was really, you know, it's sad. And the reason I say it's sad.
See, this is. Oh, God, I feel like I'm pausing this a lot. I apologize, chat. My apologies. But the way my takeaway here so far, and from like the previous things, like the way I see it is, he's afraid to shed a little bit of his ego. I think he wants to be everything. He wants to be the best rank 1 challenger player, the best guy, but also the most sold guy, but also the the most achieving coach and all of that. You know, like he wants to do it all, and it's just not doable. Some people are better at the game, and some people just are higher elo, and you can't be everything. Like you can just say, I'm not there. You know, I'm not at that skill level, but man, I help people climb from bronze to platinum. I do it with great success, and I made a lot of money. You know, my work speaks for me and all that.
Is because nobody really helps lower elo players. No one helps them. Riot doesn't help.
That's a good angle to attack. Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good like approach angle.
But you know, there I sat for the past year, 2 years, making this type of content for those type of people, only to have the community at large pretend that they know more than the content that 95% more. Most people come from norms. Most people don't even play rank. Most players need that content, and it's free to watch. No one ever forced anybody to watch a Neace video. No one ever.
I never really criticized him for this at all. Like the only things that are bad is him insinuating the fights and trying to like attack people instead of just defend. Like he went passive aggressively, like, oh, Vygar V2 is a good coach, he does that, but he's also like hiding his content to make extra profit, and he like that pedophile thing, that was like absurd. Pulling that out randomly just so he's like once you start attacking other people, like you've kind of lost the fight, because now you're just fighting to defame others as they're trying to do to you. Like again, self-reflection is the key, humility.
Ever forced a Neace client to get coaching. No one, most of my clients are people that are successful, that have money to spend on a hobby that they like. It was very sad because the community at large kind of showed itself its true colors. They're better than you. They know more than you. You aren't worth spending the time to get better at the video game. You're just not worth it. You don't matter, basically. And, you know, they've started doing this stuff to me. And, you know, for my background, like I've been around, and again, I would appreciate my editor bringing this up. I was around in Destiny. I was the world's first 30 in that game when that game came out. For those who don't know, I also played Fortnite. I say that I failed in Fortnite when I moved over to Fortnite. Fail is not even really fair to myself. I placed in a LAN, like an open qualifier to LAN at PAX, where a bunch of people flew out there to go and compete. I placed in the Winter Royale. There's actually clips of me on YouTube playing in a professional environment, top 100 in the country, when Fortnite was the most popular game in the United States. The reason I tell you this is because when I moved to Fortnite, I lost tens of thousands of subs moving to Fortnite. So losing subs and you know, having your fans like mad at you or whatever, I mean, I care, but at the end of the day, I have to do what makes me happy. I think in this particular case. Okay,
and another thing, like this ties into my first point, which is about being in a spotlight as a celebrity and trying to defend. Yeah, trying to defend yourself through the previous fame is probably the wrong way to do it. Like there's cases where it should be mentioned, like obviously if that is being disputed or attacked, but you're already in the spotlight. People know why you're already in the spotlight. That's not the main point of criticism. Like, you should not be defending yourself by the things that you've achieved to bring you there in the first place, because people know you're there. Like, the point is to defend the things that people are attacking you for in the moment, now.
Case, I've seen subs go down. In this particular case, I've seen targeted harassment, and it's not just like for people say, "Oh, just
I believe that
just ignore
there is harassment for sure."
I mean, seriously, I used to use
like if there are death threats, I believe it. Like I absolutely believe it.
I mean, I'm basically getting, like I said, I'm getting harassed on those platforms now. Just for I pulled this up. This is like an old post. There was like multiple Reddit posts with like 5,000 upvotes. People just harassing me, just straight, just hate. That's a hate post. Like this guy demoted in preseason. I've never, like I said before, I'd never seen that. And then again, I saw it was multiple content creators. It's unavoidable, by the way. You know, people just come in now. Did you see this video? Did you see this video about what this person has to say about you? And I'm not immune, by the way. I want to say, like this mid-beast video, it really has, this stuff has a negative impact on people. I know that like my responses have been very like, ham it up, act like I'm better, blah, 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 and move on. This stuff takes a toll. Now, don't worry, I'm not,
That's
like, even
good,
though I've received death threats and I've had
That's
my inbox on Reddit, people talk
vulnerability.
about, alternate Reddit accounts. One time I logged into Reddit, I had 20 suicide watch posts in my Reddit inbox. Yeah, you have to like submit, you like send a thing. I don't know how they do it. I just logged in one day and a bunch of people basically like, you look like you might kill yourself. A little weird, right? And like I said, this type of stuff takes a toll. I've seen TikTok posts of people pulling my coaching, taking a snippet out of context, and saying that I'm like flaming my clients. Every single client I've ever had knew exactly what they were getting when they booked a Neace coaching. You know why? Because they've seen that day in and day out I posted those videos. And like this stuff here, Midbeast has now posted 3 different videos. All of them with the intent to show me at my worst. To show me before it's like you're going out to a play, before you put the costume on, right? Before you've got your outfit on and you're working through your fucking presentation, right? Just to flame me. He didn't do it just once. He's done this 3 different times. 3 different times to shit on me. Midbeast shitting on me, LS shitting on me.
Okay, this is a snowball effect that I talked about, and league players are just always looking like for more drama, for more things to be happening, so you can make and milk content out of it. And there's definitely a lot of that will be done. And I doubt there's malicious intent behind it, but it's just like, it can kind of ruin like somebody's reputation if it's done like disingenuously. Like that, there's the pylon, which I was kind of opposed to when I did the podcast in the first place. But yeah, I don't know what the midbeast says in the thing anyway. So can't really make
I've got
comments.
I mean, I don't even want to name these people. Honestly, I don't want to. And that's kind of why I want to
have
good.
This
talk.
That's good.
I feel like in order to
that's what you're supposed to do.
Go forward in the way that I want to go forward. I realized something, and it was that
he should have done this at the start. Don't fucking name anyone. Don't talk to anyone. Just admit what you did. Admit wrongdoings and move on.
Sort of new,
I feel like
I reached some sort of new
myself,
level, some sort of new tier that I haven't seen content creators reach. And I looked at just the other day. It was Scooch. I don't know if you guys know who Scooch is. He's a casual content creator.
Really?
And he quit. The dude just quit League. And he decided that the community has just become so toxic and so terrible. And I'm like, man, I'm part of this problem. And I think that, in the past 2 years or so, we made all these coaching videos designed to help people improve. And like, even in my games, in my case, like I tell these people like, don't type, don't do this, don't do that. And then in my games, I revert right into toxic mode. And then when people start attacking me, I revert right into toxic mode. And I think that as a content creator, this is why I said I'm being vulnerable with you here this morning, because I realized like as a content creator, as wrongly as I personally, as a human being, feel like these people really are sad and are really like
Persona is curated for himself.
Petty and upset. And as I feel so strongly that is what it is. I'm not winning as a coach, as a person that's supposed to, as a person that, unbeknownst to me, would eventually become bigger than me. So, like, in the sense that, like, my name, my content is now bigger than my opinions. Like, it's bigger than that.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I'm being forced or thrusted into changes that I need to make. It's like I need to make these changes.
Yes,
because
you need
I feel
to.
like what I'm doing, what these people don't realize that they're doing.
Because what you're doing is you're feeding the flame. You're putting water into the fucking oily fire. It's just like you think you're putting it out, but it's like.
What these people don't realize they're doing is by setting a precedent of just attacking somebody, just wearing them down, harassing them, telling them to kill themselves day in and day out, day in and day out. What these people don't realize they're doing is, yeah, that's whatever, right? They don't realize that they're destroying their game. Short term, everybody can win from controversy. And again, I'm not immune. Everybody wins, right? Drama views go up, but we are getting so far away. We are getting so far away from what League of Legends is about now. Everybody is just waiting for people to fail and to shit on them. And it's just hoping that just looking for any excuse to gotcha. Nobody even really wants to play the game anymore. There's been a stark decline in the amount of people that are getting into League of Legends seriously now. Could you even blame them? Right? Oh, you're bronze, that's not good enough. Oh, you're silver, that's not good enough. Oh, you're gold, that's not good enough. You're plat, oh, that's good enough. You're diamond, it's not good enough. Blah, 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 blah. Then, let's say, and I intend, to be clear, I'm gonna get to this more in a second. I 100% intend to make Challenger again in this region. But let's just say someone makes Challenger. Oh, that motherfucker, he's a one trick. Oh, that motherfucker, he made Challenger 4 years ago. That's not good enough. He made it 3 years. No, it's not good.
Yeah, everyone gets that. Like, literally everyone gets that. I get that shit. Like, I get that a lot. It doesn't matter. Like, the only thing is that matters is me knowing that I'm good enough and me proving it with my achievements. Like, when somebody questions you, you can kind of bring your achievements into the mix. But at the end of the day, it's kind of pointless and futile. It's counterproductive to fight every single fight. Because if you get attacked and blamed, oh, you're only this elo because you play this, oh, you're a one trick or that. Like, if you stoop down low to fight every fight, like, you're just gonna invite more hatred. It's like a common playground theme. Like, the kid that responds to the teasing gets teased the most. So you don't really fight back. You just move on, like, stoically in your own way.
This entire culture is being basically overrun by people that are just negative. Again, I am not excluded in this, and that's one of the reasons I'm talking about this out loud, is because I think that I truly am playing a part in this, and I need to fix it.
Yeah. Community came after him for the claims, and then he fought back, like, on personal level, instead of responding to the claims, and then people got personal with him, and then got giga personal, and then obviously the community, like, usually when there's disagreements between content creators, the biggest hatred lies on both audiences. All right, like, it's never the creators who hate each other the most, it's always audiences who hate each other the most. So they're gonna do way worse things at the end of the day. So it's kind of like this wave that happens, and that's happening like day in and day out. So they just have to control that. Like, you have to do it with minimal damage, with surgical precision.
And that's why I included that survey. One of the things that I'm going to be doing in about a week here is we're going to be launching a new project that we've been working on. And I've even modified it in the past few weeks. I delayed it. It was actually going to be launched sometime a few weeks ago, but I delayed it. And the reason I delayed it is because I wanted to add some extra stuff to it. Because as I've always done, my content has been structured to help people get into the game. The fundamentals, the thing that no one wants to teach, the gameplay that nobody wants to help explain, right? I included a thing in this project that's coming out in a week or so that is going to help with this accountability. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to this in the coming year. And what do I mean when I say to this? I had some inspiration because I'm about to legitimately undertake. Now, I've been, like I said, I've been fucking around preseason. I'm legitimately going to push for Challenger. And to me, one of the things is, I know that I'm a good coach. I know that I am arguably one of the best coaches. I may not be the best coach, just like I said, I'm not the best player, but I'm absolutely one of the best League of Legends coaches. And it's the gamer in me, the competitor in me has been, I've been very, very excited to be good at League is one thing, but it's the reason that it's so important to me to do this, it's not even about money. It's not, there's something about when people tell you you can't do something that really rubs me the wrong way. And whether or not people want to admit it, when you're talking about League of Legends credentials, nobody's giving a shit about League of Legends credentials until me. And that's fine, but you're not going to tell me that I'm not good at video games. I've been around the block. I may be 34. I fully, 100% intend to make challenges.
He's a witness of the Azzapp coach. No, I believe when he says this. I mean, obviously, he said his primary goal, like when I asked him, his primary goal is to make as much money as possible. And I believe that was his original goal, for sure. But I feel like this defense is coming more from ego side than from, like, money. Because if you only care about money, you could just channel this in a positive way and make even more money.
I will sit here day in and day out. These videos come out weekly. I will be here for a year. I will be here every single day. Just like I was here for the past 2 to 3 years. Every single day. Watching low elo gameplay. Not playing for 2 or 3 years. I will be here every fucking day. And one of the things that I'm going to do along the way is I'm going to document the climb. This poker streamer lost $100,000 in a year, 2022. The reason I bring this up is because, I heard this.
Poker analogy again.
Right? And I went down the thread, and this guy had documented everything along the way. And he documented, he had why it didn't go well, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that is so professional. This guy does not suck at poker. This guy is really good at poker, and he's really, really disciplined. And at the end, he was like, you know what, I'm going to fucking, this year's going to be better. And I realized that if I'm going to do this challenge, firstly...
Well, poker has variance. League variance doesn't even come close to poker variance. Poker, really good professional poker players can be net loss after a year, but highly positive after 5 years. Because it really depends how you play. There's no like one clear way that you have to play to win. In League, there is most of the time. And if you're good at League, you're going to climb a lot rapidly. Okay, you may be like on a lose streak for a week, even 2 weeks you may be losing. You might be negative win rate in fucking Diamond. And then eventually you're going to turn out because you're a good player. In 2 months, like you're going to climb.
I fully intend to make Challenger here. Secondly, I fully intend to document it. I fully intend to make sure that I am not typing anymore in games. As hard as it is to not rage at this game, poker hand lasts a minute. League poker hands last 30 minutes. I am not going to type because people have correctly identified that I've not lived up to my own shit in coaching. I used to use the excuse like, oh, well, lower elo, you got so much you can fix in lower elo that like you should never be. But at the same time, like even higher elo, I'm just going to take it to the next step. I realize that, again, I am bigger. It's bigger than me. Esports orgs put some crazy value on my stuff. People that don't like me put some crazy value on my stuff. Undecided put some crazy value on my stuff. The people, my fans, like I haven't really lived up. Again, I'm not going to use the excuses, right? I realize now, that's how I should frame it. I realize now that the entire League world has put a higher value on my credentials, my presentation, my gameplay, the way that I carry myself, my attitude, all these things. So my intent, and like in this, I use these.
Does it change? I kind of want to skip. It's a bit me. Like he said, he's gonna be vulnerable. I expect.
Example of the run. I did the
admitting something.
I was running out around the circle in the track, trying to get this like 5 minute
like,
time.
What happened with like the platinum 1, 2, 3? Like you go from diamond 4 to plat 1, 2, 3, right? Is that what happened? I saw some screenshots.
Goal. I posted it on Twitter, and I did like my little shirtless selfies like every friggin' week. And the thing is, I thought about that goal, and I thought to myself, Neace, what if every day you ran around that track, there was thousands of people just rooting against you, posting about you, yelling at you, trying to distract you, trying to make it seem like no one should ever try to run around the track. No one should ever do it, right? Because you'll fail.
The issue is if you don't address any of the things that people are criticizing you for, when this video goes out, even though you feel like you addressed a lot, people are gonna come at you with even more like demanding answers, harassment, bullying, typing at you all the time negatively, and if you don't respond again, people, it's just gonna go into this insanely vicious circle. It's gonna go forever. It will be absolutely never ending, and that's what's been happening. That's why this drama lasts for fucking months. You would think he's doing it on purpose to milk it, but he's doing it in a wrong way if he wanted to milk it anyway. So I don't even believe that. It's just that I feel like he's stuck in a loop and he doesn't know how to leave because he's incapable of like reflecting on what he has done. Could he have been wrong? Could it have been wrong putting challenger and selling if you're not challenger? And I told him, I literally told him during the podcast, I tell him, okay, you're gonna get challenger in Korea. And he said yes. And then I said, you do know if you don't do it, there will be a lot of people at your back. And now that he didn't, and a lot of people are at his back, and he played a bunch of games and he's like platinum, there's a lot of people flaming him. Like, surprise, surprise, we all expected that. Like, you can't just come in and like, oh, people are hateful, people are jealous, they hate me, they want to take me down, you know, they want to kill me, you know. It's not good. Like, that approach does absolutely nothing but fan the flames.
And that's kind of why I feel like this is so important, is because people don't understand. When I started streaming, my own parents didn't want me to stream, dude. My own parents didn't want me to do this. Like,
Every streamer
I will
ever.
be damned if I spend
Same.
any time allowing people to tell me what I can and can't do, right? When I started coaching, never ever thought that it would ever get to a point where it would be valued at $250 for on-stream coaching. People told me that it is valued at that, right? And people today are telling me in different words, right? There's people that like me, there's people that don't like me. People are telling me everywhere right now that I'm worth it, right? Or that I'm not worth it. That's what they're saying. But in reality, let's be honest. They're putting a spotlight on my credentials. They're putting a spotlight on the things I said. They put a spotlight on my prices. They watch my preseason games. They take only losses, and they say this guy sucks, right? Like they want so bad for you to basically just to not try, to give up, and to move on or whatever. And they'll do every little shady trick in the book. I've even had people try to ghost my streams already. I've seen that. I've seen people sit with my stream open for days. I've seen people do that. Again, I don't need to say names.
Sorry.
Because it's true, and they know who they are. But my whole goal here is with this whole change in approach and trying to be more positive and trying to be more cautious with how I choose my words. My goal is not to appease those. I mean, if I can make someone that hates me like me, great. I hope so, right? If I can make someone that's on the fence about me like me, I hope so. Because really, it's never really been about that for me. All I really want is for people to just like love playing the game and love getting better at it. Right? That's all that really matters to me. I mean, I've always said this, for example, like Nightblue. Nightblue used to come in day and day out, do some cappuccino dumb shit on his streams. People used to talk shit about Nightblue. Nightblue loved doing that stuff, man. Just like I love coaching you guys. Why would I sit here and do this day in and day out if I didn't love it? Why would I not spend time with my wife at times to do this? So I want you to remember that. Remember this talk. And remember how many years I made those videos. How many hours I sat there and watched those games. And think about how many people that have chosen to take out of context stuff. Never, for years, never made content. They never made any fundamental videos for people. They didn't give a shit about anybody. But again, I am not ever going to quit in this fucking game or this business. I will never let my fans down, the real fans, the people that care about getting better at the game, not just shitting on people day in and day out. And again, I am sorry if I've done that too much. It's just been hard, man. It's been tough.
Dude,
because
my
these
fucking
people,
dog.
they don't know how hurtful.
I mean, he's never gonna quit. Look, that's like a valiant message. Like, oh, despite controversy, despite adversity, I'm gonna go in and do my thing. Like, that's fine. That is fine. But again, zero addressing of anything. It's just going side tangents randomly.
They don't know how much hate they constantly spread day in and day out. The game's already toxic enough. And it's not right. I mean,
like, honestly, like, I don't know if he's, like, deliberately trying to avoid it at this point and thinking it's just gonna slow down, and if he, like, keeps spamming, like, a positive message, just playing, just self-improvement, I will be more positive, I will climb, all of that, without addressing anything before. Like, is he thinking that it's gonna go away? Like, people are gonna stop? If he does that? Or is he really, like, or does he really have a blind spot for himself? Like, I honestly can't tell. Like, I honestly can't tell at this point.
At the end of the day, it's not right what these people do day in and day out. Right? It's fine. Like, you can hate, you can hate me and how I conducted myself, whatever. But it's just like, for example, like attacking clients. Like, these guys were pulling up my clients and like shitting on them, Why? How is that going to grow your game? How is that going to make the game stay around? What does that do? Okay, I suck at coaching and they shouldn't have bought it? Great. How is shitting on that guy going to make the game better? Man. How is pretending that fundamentals that everybody misses thousands of hours fucking coaching? Thousands. And you know what?
No,
95 to 99% of the people that get coached don't know the fundamentals, man. They don't. No one wants to sit with the lower elo people and help them. No one ever does. Free content, cheap content, boot camps.
No one likes him. He took 350 for one game. That's not the point. Like, it's not the point about 350. Like, it has never been the point about 350, at least not in my mind. Like, and the most criticism I saw, like, I think even LS, like, everyone, like, every single one of these people, like, I don't think anyone credible who's criticizing him for the money he's taken. Like, the money he's not taking the money because he's scamming people. He's taking money because, as he said, rightly so, people deemed him worthy of that. Like, even though, like, a lot of people are telling him now you're not worth like $10, let alone 350, it doesn't matter if the market tell you something. If the market keeps telling you there's people who are gonna spend 350 to do it, like that, like, then you're clearly worth to them in their idea. Like, supply and demand, basic economics. Not the point. That, like, everyone's missing the point for some reason.
Private coachings, different high elo fucking coaches that are better than me at the game. So many fucking ways for people to improve. And all these people that talk, they don't actually want to help people. Oh, this pro is so bad. This guy is so bad. I know the answer. No, you don't. No one does. No one wants to spend the time even showing people. They just want to go, obviously, this is the answer, blah, 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 blah. But you didn't know, and you wouldn't know in the middle of the game. That was another thing, it was like the live coaching format. Everybody, live coaching, so bad. Live coaching, so bad. Oh, yeah? Why does everybody think they want it then? If you have a basketball coach, a football coach, a soccer coach, does the coach wait till the game's over and then coach? Is the only coach then? Is that the only coaching format? I'm trying to, again...
I mean, that's more like a real analyst for professional teams. Obviously, if you're focusing on professional teams, you're going to have a lot more post-game analysis because that's what your job does, essentially. Like, that's what you're doing. You need to come up with a good plan. You need to teach people after the game has happened. You can't really be there to help them in the game. All right? You need to come up with, like, very interesting cases so they can actually learn from it and implement the knowledge in the next game. that's kind of what the pro coaches do. Like I feel like there's a dissonance between what he thinks some coaches do. Like if somebody like LS or Vigar V2 who's been professional, or like Yamada Cannon, if they type something in post-game analysis about something that happened and you want to change that, like that's fine. It's totally cool to actually discuss that, because that's how it works. He can't be there in their fucking ear and telling them, yo, go Baron, you dumbasses. You can't build that shit. Do not build Morello. You can't do that in a pro game. Like, post-analysis is everything. That's how you improve the game. Like, the core analysis at the end of the game is what differentiates, like, even different regions. Like, regions have, like, different playstyles, and regions learn from each other by observing like that. It's all, like, post-games. Like, so much theory goes into that.
Keep it within the context of coaching, because I really know, I know in my heart what these people want to do, because I've been around content for a long time. I've seen, my team has seen TikTok. I posted, I don't know, hundreds of videos on TikTok. Not once did I go around and say, you know what, today I'm going to take somebody's work out of context and then tell their audience, my audience, that this person doesn't know what they're talking about and they're bad at the game.
Yeah, we talked about this on the podcast.
That's my goal. My goal today is to tear somebody else down. I woke up today and my goal is to tear somebody else down. Now, I said some negative stuff about people, and most of the stuff that I said about people has been true. True. Across the board. But I did not wake up. I did not wake up and say, I'm going to destroy this person's career. I'm going to make it so that this person can't do the job that they love. That's what I'm going to do today. That's my life. The saddest part isn't that they're doing it. The saddest part isn't that they're doing it. People say, oh, sue them. I thought about that. I mean...
yeah, Lati, we did an episode.
You can hide behind so many loopholes on that.
I don't know, maybe like 2 months ago.
That is always an option. But it doesn't cure the problem. Like, that's my point, is the problem isn't content creators, right? It's the audiences. Right? And I guess that's what I'm going to try to do, is I'm going to try to change the fucking, just like I have changed coaching, just like I have changed the fucking burden of proof on League of Legends credentials, just like I have changed coaching formats. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that anybody that hates me has to go really, really, really far out of their way to do it. And it won't be easy to do that.
Has he impacted coaching? I believe so. He's very popular. Like, he has impacted in some sort of way. Like, kind of everyone did who's working in that field. Like, slowly. You do show some impact, because no matter what, if he does something, like, some people will obviously copycat him because he's more popular. The format and the burden of proof, that's basically like centuries old. There's nothing you can really do there. That's just like how people evaluate you.
It won't be easy to do that, because have you ever played League of Legends? It's not easy to have someone like ruin a game and not rage. I need to talk. That's what I need from Broxus, some chill coaching. I think he gets to cheat a little bit because his voice is nice. My ambition going forward is to make it so that I look back. This is a
I guess it's all semantics. Impact and change is not the same. Change, like, well, how much change? What kind of a change? If you argue it's like 0.05% change, like, sure, you know. But change might mean, or in this context, probably he means it in like a change, like, oh, it's not going this way now, it's going that way because I said so, you know. Could be that.
I want to look back on the next year, or this coming year, and I want to be in high elo Korea. I want to not prove people wrong. That's not really what I'm after. I mean, that's a bonus, I guess. That I know I'm good at the game. Like, that's not really an issue to me. I want to be able to look back on this climb in the way that I looked back just now on my coaching stuff. Unparalleled coaching stuff. Unmatched. Public, free to access, free to shit on, right? Work that no one wants to do. I did it for 2 years straight. That, by the way, that's how I've been like just grinding nonstop. That is basically how I was coaching, just day in and day out. 5 lessons a day. Ask people that got coached at, what was it, like 8, it was like 8:30, it was like 8:30 whenever my coaching started at Eastern. They knew that I'd been on stream all day. By the way, it's not all about me. And that's the thing, is, again, you know, I want to lead by example. And there's a lot of examples I would like to set. And the first example is, you know, working on my game and giving people less reason to hate. Right? I want to be a positive, because I have an opportunity to do that with the amount of hate.
See, like, he's trying to package it in a positive message, but again, no self-reflection to anything that he's been criticized for. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing. It's like he's just deliberately like avoiding. It's like pretending it's not there. Like the people didn't criticize him for it.
And anger and pettiness. I have an opportunity to do some really cool things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work my ass off for Challenger here in Korea. While I'm doing that, I'm going to document it. I'm not going to type. My rules are I'm not going to type 3 losses in a row. I'm going to stop. I'm going to swap to a second account where I'm going to rank that account up, or level that account up, and work on some stuff. That way, if the next preseason rolls around, I don't have the same stuff that happened this time. There's no people. People also didn't understand. There's no norms in Korea. There's blind pick, but there's no norms draft in Korea. Again, my work was misrepresented. I had no intention of climbing really, really high in the preseason. And also, what would be the point of that? It's 3 mid-East videos. I mean, that's just mid. I'm singling out mid-East. It's not just him. There's like tons of people. Reddit posts, and just type in my name on YouTube. Watch people make videos to hate preseason climb. But my intent was to climb the actual season.
Technically, preseason climb should be a bit easier. I'm pretty sure he did try to climb, because it's kind of like a clever maneuver to try preseason and grind a bunch of games, and then if you climb, good, you won. if you don't, you can say, oh, it's been preseason. You know, it's kind of like it's a nice strat. To be fair, like, it should be easier to climb in preseason.
There's no way to practice here. I
don't know how much
practice.
this,
Practice
how much water it holds.
I don't know if you guys could hear when I did blind pick, but it was awful. It was awful. They just yell out the roll and then pick whatever champ, and so you don't really actually get a real game. Those games are super troll. So that is my thing. And then not only will I be documenting it, I'm going to allow you guys a way to document it soon. Because I want you guys to join me on your respective climbs. Hopefully this has inspired you a little bit, because that's my goal. Always has been my goal, is to make people excited to play the video game, excited to get the muscle memory down, excited to understand the game, excited to get into the psychology of, like, I know that he knows that. It's always been my favorite part. I've said that in coaching countless times. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a way for you guys to.
Yeah, exactly, Latty. He went overboard and he just fueled the flame so much.
Probably in a week or so. I almost cried.
He's trying to be more than he is, and because for some reason he's not satisfied with what he is, and he's a very demanded coach. Like, that should be enough. Just work on your personality and, like, your PR and how you present yourself so people don't attack you, and don't get petty and defend your ego randomly and just create insinuations. It's just so weird. Like, why engage in all that pointlessness?
And that, again, that's kind of my goal, is to not. But I'm definitely very passionate about this stuff, and I love my job, man. Like, I think it's sad because I don't think people realize that if there's not a way to get new faces into the game, and if all new faces, a classic example, and I don't even have to use anybody's name to prove my point. I sat here in this chat, a guy came in chat, and you know what he said? He said, man, I went to this guy's stream that I saw flaming you, and the stream was miserable. I don't even want to play ranked anymore after seeing it. And that guy won't, probably, right? That was just a guy that happened to come here and say that. I don't want to be that. How is the game going to live? People say, oh, you know, people are talking about League. No, it's not. It's not a good thing when it's hate content.
It's
not a good thing when the game. But I implore and urge and beg you guys to understand that what this stuff is doing. If you like League of Legends, this stuff will not help the game. It won't. People are going to love. You think people are going to love experiencing League of Legends for a year, 2 years from now? Out there and go through the pains of, yeah, I really want to eat a fucking cookie, but I can't. Oh, I really want to sleep in today, but I can't. I have to go run. You think running a 5 minute, just in my example, you think running a 5 minute mile was easy? Be a part, not this year. So once the season starts, I will start implementing some new tactics. No, that's like, you'll be able to join in on those. We'll have more announcements on that. We've been putting a lot of work on some new projects.
Now you guys are engaging in this fucking straw man. It's just like, it just goes into all infinite fucking tangents. Like, flaming is going to end League of Legends. That's not the claim, but this is like he's claiming that it's promoting toxic behavior, which it kind of is. But the thing is, he's failing to address what people are trying to attack him for in the first place. So it will forever keep going. It will absolutely forever keep going. It's so weird, man. Such a weird fucking scenario.
Excited for the new year. I'm really excited.
It's like, people claim something about him. He avoids that and just attacks everything else and the people around. So the people get mad at him and try to attack him. But some people, because, well, if you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers, a lot of people are going to miss the point and they're going to criticize him. Oh, you charge $350, you dumbass degenerate, and you're silver and you're playing that. Oh, your coaching style is military, you're shouting. That's not the point. None of that is the fucking point. And that's going to attack, and then he's going to nitpick, like, the criticisms, and he's going to take this one and say, man, people criticize my military style coaching, but it's working. Like, they look at these successful clients, they keep coming back, they keep paying. You know, it just keeps doing this. Like, what the fuck, guys? Focus up.
It's not about, it's not.
People are so boring. Holy shit.
Negativity. It's not. I have an opportunity, and I want to grow as a person. I don't want to be pulled down to this, and I've come dangerously close to.
Growing as a person requires self-reflection and humility and vulnerability.
This scorched earth. There's a reason I did what Elon Musk.
You cannot be petty and attack others just because they attack you.
Comments off stuff, like, have people manage it, like.
Be a stable character.
Again, I realize that I'm greater. I am greater. I mean, people have made me celebrity. Like, I didn't think I was, but I am. Do you understand? I didn't think I was worth $250 for a coaching session. I am. I didn't think I'm a celebrity. I don't think of myself that way. I am. There's no way around it. I go out, people recognize me. That's not a joke. That happens on this little tiny ass base, and I'm chill. I'm not like, get away from me. Are you shit at League? Get out of here, you little peasant. I don't know you. So I have to, like I said, I have to elevate not only just like my temperament, but my professionalism, and I intend to do that. Do you guys understand? Please do the survey. Please let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to the future, and I hope anybody that does hate me or is watching this hear what I'm saying. Think about it. Just
see, again, he's addressing like the worst fucking craziest psycho character who is wishing him death and like being mad at him because he's selling expensive coaching. Again, isn't he talking to himself the way he's approached stuff? I would agree that it's like insinuating toxicity because it's a really weird way of approaching. Yeah, we talked about that, but it's just going in a very, very weird way. So yeah, overall, I don't think anything is going to change. I feel like we're going to be watching some random Neace video in about 2 months again. It's just an endless cycle. I truly hope. Like, the worst part is, like, this cycle will not be broken unless he himself decides to, like release himself from the bonds. He needs to throw away the shackles. They're holding him down, man. And he needs to do it. And once he does it, like, he's going to accumulate so much popularity, so much infinite like credentials. The thing is, the longer he waits, the more he ruins the chance of that happening. Because if he admitted a mistake at the start, he would just like absorb like 70% of the people coming to harass him. He would just absorb them in his community if he was just open and honest at the very start. But the fact that he wasn't, and he faked the screenshot, potentially, allegedly, most likely, and he didn't get the challenge, and he was toxic, and he was like insinuating a lot of things, and he was attacking other creators instead of like defending himself and just being an honest person. It just really messed up his chances. Like the longer it goes, the more people like think of him as like a not of good character and a charlatan, and eventually he's just gonna lose the chance of doing that. But the sooner he does it and realizes it, he's just gonna become like, he can become a staple for change. He can become a very good character to look up to, because I was this, now I'm that. I got harassed, I deflected, I didn't attack back. You know, I grew from that. I took this negative thing and I turned to a positive thing. You can become that beacon, and people will love you for it. And Neace, I hope you're watching this. I hope you watch this, man, because we talked, and I think that's the right approach. And I try to tell you this, and I don't think your approach was correct. And I think it's gonna go forever. I think you need just full-on transparency and vulnerability, and things are gonna change.